Congratulations. We start with your DQ from the 1500 that night. Like, how'd that go for you? Sorry, once you found out you were DQ'd, how'd you mentally recover?
Yeah. First of all, now I'm ready to talk. I blew off all of you guys for the entire week, and that was just from that night. I cooled down, whatever. I didn't know until I got back to the hotel with protests, whatever. I don't even know how the system works, but obviously really upset, but it would just control what I can control. And at that point, it was out of my hands. I felt like an opportunity was ripped out of my hands, and especially like this whole year, I was aiming at backing up that 1500 meter title that I was so proud of in Paris. And so when that was ripped away from me, I just thought, well, let's recenter. Completely got off social media, just surrounded myself with my family, and just completely dialed in. And pretty much, I still got to reflect on this whole week, but it was a mental battle more than anything. I knew my fitness was there, and someone like me, I pride myself on peaking at these world championships. And you can watch my races throughout the year, and it was the same thing last year as this year. I was building towards the championships. Maybe not the performances people expected from the Olympic champion and the build-up, but I knew I was in the best shape of my life going into this championship, and again, not to have that opportunity really hurt. And so then I just had to recalibrate and think, how do I redeem that? And there was only one answer.
What was your strategy tonight?
My strategy was I wanted to go to the front and see how long they let me dictate the pace up there. It didn't take long. And then as soon as someone went around me, it would just make as few moves as possible and just stay attached until pretty much 2 laps to go in my head. If I was attached with 2 laps to go, then I could run with anyone, kick with anyone, and that's exactly how it played out. And very rarely do I feel like I ran a race perfectly, but I feel like tonight was pretty damn close.
I feel like I asked you the same thing at USA's, but you were 12th at the belt. Was there ever any point where you thought you were too far back? Does that ever enter your mind?
I did clock it. I clocked, there's some bodies in front of me, and I'm going to have to start. I couldn't wait till 200 to get around everyone, and so I still haven't watched the race back. Obviously, I can't wait to watch that back, but it was kind of just let's get around some bodies before 200 to go, settle back in, and then punch it.
How's the feeling compared to Paris last year?
I feel amazing right now. Paris was complete shock and pretty much disbelief. I think the Olympics are a completely different beast, but then going into this championship, I felt like I had done this before, and then I get a curveball, and it's a completely new battle. And if I've learned anything in my pro career, it's that every championship is a different thing, and nothing's guaranteed. And I'm obviously extremely happy.
And confirming, even if on a different race, is very important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Almost more so. I think, to be outside of the box of 1500 meter specialist, now I think USA's, I ran it, and I guess put the USA on notice, and now I feel like I put the world on notice that I'm a threat in both, and I can't wait for to do it. To have an opportunity to race both of those, I guess at Beijing.
The last 2 years, you've made this big jump from USA's to the Worlds to the Olympics. Like, what do you do? What do you change in training specifically to go from there to here at this high level?
Yeah, it was not much. It was really about consistency. The past 2 years have been more consistent than any other year in my career, and every year has been a milestone. And I've been getting older, and I think just the natural maturity of my career so far and staying injury free is it's an upward trending graph right now. And but I know as soon as you get that injury, you can miss out on a lot of important stuff, and it can happen quick. So just staying consistent these past 2 years, and this year I made it through pretty much unscathed with any injury, and I've learned that I'm going to be pretty hard to beat if that's the case.
You said you stayed off of social media for about a week or so. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I just knew, I just knew that couldn't help me. Obviously, I feel like big news in the track and field community. I got in there to make a post because I felt like I owed my supporters, at least an update. I think a lot of people were riled up for me, and I wanted to let them know that I really appreciate it. But more importantly, it was just keeping my head on straight. And that night I let myself be extremely disappointed for a few hours, and then have a journal and a log, and I pretty much reevaluated, reassessed, and immediately switched to I want to win this 5K. How do I get there mentally?
What'd you write in the journal that night?
I can't recall exactly, but the past few days it was just I know I can win. I know I have the best finish. I know I can win. Just reiterating to myself that I can win, and never doubt it. I'm the fittest I've ever been, and it was just constant positive affirmation this whole week.
Seemed like Grant and Nico might have had some sort of plan to work together early. Were you in that conversation at all?
Someone else asked me about that. I don't know if they came through here already, but I had no plan. I was out there for myself. And, obviously, I want USA to do well, but above all, I want to do well, and I have no team dynamic.
Coming off the curve, did you know that you pretty much got it in the bag?
I thought so. I was about 95% sure. I think, I've been in a couple of situations where I was 90% sure, and then someone comes around me. So it was just pretty much just hammer. And, I caught a glimpse at the screen, and I still wasn't sure. It's like, did I miss someone? Like, I think I'm in the lead, and then I crossed the line, and obviously, it was a huge relief.
Only 3 Americans have ever won the 5,000 at a global champs. You're one of them now. Like, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I had no idea of that stat. It's like all of these greats before me. I watch them. I study their races. I study, how they approach it, and I go back and I discover especially like Bernard Lagat, who I feel like is so goated in the 15 and the 5K. Like you really had to work hard to beat him, and I just want to emulate that. And I feel like tonight I took a step in that direction.
Was there anything you studied in particular, any race of his that you sort of looked at?
I'm not gonna be able to think of it right now, but it's just like every race I went back and he was there, and I just want to be that guy where if it's a 1500, you can't count me out. If it's a 5K, you can't count me out, and that's just one of those guys that was always there.
Did you watch the 1500 final? Any thoughts on that? How difficult was it to watch it?
I didn't watch it live. I was just prioritizing myself on focusing. Of course, I knew what was going on, and I checked the results pretty quickly. I was just like, how much can I block out this week and focus on myself?
But have you watched it at all?
Yeah, I watched it back. Yeah, pretty crazy.
What do you think you could have done there?
I think I could have won, but who am I to say that? Like, I thought I could win going into it, so of course, but. You never know how they're going to shake out, and don't want to discredit any of those guys. Those guys all earn their medals, and I don't want to discredit any of that.
And you